But the kid, I mean, listen, JB is doing, I kind of stopped giving a damn about it a long time.
LeBron James just said what he has been holding inside for 18 months. And the way he said it let everyone know that the wound never healed. It just waited. On February 22, 2026, the Celtics walked into Crypto.com Arena and destroyed the Lakers 111-89. A 22-point blowout that had fans turning off the TV by halftime. But nobody is talking about the score. Nobody cares about the final number. What has the entire basketball world on fire is what LeBron said after the game. Because when a reporter asked him about Jaylen Brown, the King finally broke his silence on the Bronny situation. And the way he did it sent a message that echoed through every locker room in the league.
It is. Jaylen Brown, man. NBA Finals MVP Jaylen Brown.
To understand why these words carried so much weight, you have to go back to July 2024. A moment most people forgot about. A moment Jaylen Brown probably wishes never happened. And a moment LeBron James has clearly replayed in his head every single day since. It was Summer League in Vegas. The Lakers were playing the Celtics in one of those early games nobody usually watches. But this was different. This was the summer Bronny James, the 55th pick in the draft, was trying to prove he belonged. The whole basketball world was watching, and sitting courtside with a front row seat was Jaylen Brown, the reigning Finals MVP, fresh off a championship, and he was not alone.
That means he had a front row view of one of the most talked about players in the NBA right now, Bronny James, the son of now teammate.
Brown was sitting with WNBA stars Kieser Gondrezick and Angel Reese. At some point during the game, a camera caught Brown turning to Gondrezick and saying something. There was no official audio, but lip readers analyzed the footage, and what they found was devastating in its simplicity. Brown appeared to say he did not believe Bronny was a professional basketball player. Gondrezick appeared to agree, suggesting Bronny would end up in the G League. And then Brown appeared to add one more line. Because of his last name, he would stay with the Lakers regardless.
Gondrezick, a former WNBA player, and gave an assessment of the younger James's play.
Think about who said this. Not some random podcaster. Not a retired player behind a desk looking for clicks. The reigning Finals MVP of the National Basketball Association looked at LeBron James' son playing in a summer league game where Bronny scored just 4 points on 2 of 9 shooting and told the people next to him that this kid did not belong.
Brown appears to say, and I quote, "I don't think Bronny is a pro." Gondrezick appears to respond in our part.
The clip spread like wildfire. Within hours, it had millions of views. Every major sports outlet picked it up. The debate was raging. Was Jaylen Brown out of line for saying what he said? Or was he simply being honest about what everybody was already thinking?
He says, "I think he'll be in the G League for sure." Brown appears to reply in part, and I quote, "Because of his name, he's going to be with the Lakers."
The very next morning, Brown took to social media. He posted on X saying it was a flex to have your son alongside you in the NBA, that it reflects greatness and longevity, that Bronny has all the tools to be successful. He said he looked forward to watching Bronny's growth. Some people saw that as genuine. Others saw it as damage control from a man who got caught saying something he should have kept to himself.
This is
wild.
like, if he did say it, y'all lip reading, okay, cool, but
Yeah, had a camera on him.
Here is what made this so complicated. Brown was not entirely wrong. That is what made it sting so much. Bronny was a second-round pick with modest college numbers, still recovering from a cardiac arrest episode. The argument that he was on the Lakers roster because of his father had been made by dozens of analysts before Brown ever opened his mouth.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure he thinks that way about some other guys.
Yeah. And as I mentioned before, private, not necessarily private.
Over on Gil's Arena, the reaction was exactly what you would expect. Gilbert Arenas and his crew broke it down from every angle. The consensus was Brown had a right to his opinion, even if the way it came out was messy. They made a critical point. Brown was not holding a press conference. He was not posting on social media. He was having what he thought was a private conversation. And a camera just happened to be pointed at him. That is the reality of being an NBA superstar in the modern era. There is no such thing as private when you are sitting courtside at a nationally televised event. Every word, every expression, every gesture is being recorded and analyzed by millions. Jaylen Brown learned that lesson the hard way.
I think you just use the motivation of a lot of people just saying that they're going to have a down year because of, obviously JT being out, them losing Drew.
But the most important reaction was the one that never came. LeBron James, the most media-savvy athlete in sports history, said absolutely nothing. Not a word, not a tweet, not a subtle Instagram story. For 18 months, the King stayed silent. And in the NBA, silence from LeBron is louder than any press conference. Because everyone who knows LeBron knows one thing: he never forgets. He keeps every receipt, files it away, and waits for the perfect moment to pull it out. That moment came on February 22, 2026.
He uses that as motivation to keep them afloat. They're playing great basketball, and it's because of him and the rest of those guys. He's taking that next step.
The Celtics had just put a 22-point beating on the Lakers. The post-game press conference should have been about the game. Boston was rolling. They were playing elite basketball despite losing Tatum to injury. Despite losing Holiday and Porzingis. Their entire championship core dismantled and rebuilt. And yet here they were still competing. The reason was obvious. Jaylen Brown was having the season of his life. By February 2026, Brown was averaging 29 3.6, 6.9 rebounds, 4.7 assists, shooting 48%, his fifth All-Star selection, single-handedly keeping the Celtics relevant when everyone had written them off.
Our relationship has been, pretty respectful. Besides the shit he said about Bronny at Summer League.
And so when a reporter asked LeBron about Brown's season and their relationship, the expectation was diplomatic praise. Keep it classy. Move on. And for a moment, that is exactly what he did. LeBron acknowledged Brown's incredible year, gave him credit for stepping up, praised how the Celtics stayed competitive, pointed out that Brown used all the doubt and skepticism as fuel.
Other than that, we've been all right,
Were you guys able to get past that?
We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Yeah,
And then came the pivot, the moment that turned a routine post-game answer into the most talked-about soundbite of the entire season. LeBron's tone shifted. His expression changed, and out came the words that 18 months of silence had been building toward. He let the world know he had not forgotten what Jaylen Brown said about his son. Not for a single second.
I think he went on social media and said something about it. It's all good, but Ronnie got a long way to go, but that's another story.
The reporters immediately jumped on it, asked if the two had been able to move past the incident. LeBron's response was telling. He said, "We will be all right." He said it 3 times, and every single time it sounded less convincing than the time before. That is not a man who has moved on. That is a man telling you he is choosing to be the bigger person while simultaneously letting you know the wound is still open.
LeBron was not done. He went even further, making a case for Brown as the league's most valuable player, questioning why the media was not giving Brown more recognition for the season he was having.
And then LeBron addressed Brown's social media response from 2024. The post where Brown tried to clean up his comments by praising LeBron's longevity and Bronny's potential. LeBron acknowledged it, and then he added something. Bronny got a long way to go, but that is another story. LeBron was not pretending his son was already an all-star. He was not defensive about the criticism itself. What bothered him was not that someone had an opinion. What bothered him was who said it and how they said it. There is a difference between an analyst on television breaking down weaknesses and a fellow NBA player whispering about your kid to his friends courtside while your son is out there competing.
But the kid, listen, JB is doing shit. He's playing great basketball, man. And you can't fault this out on, this whole MVP thing.
And the remarkable thing is what LeBron did next. Despite everything, despite the fact that he clearly had not forgotten or fully forgiven, he pivoted right back to praising Brown's basketball. He made a case for Brown as the league's most valuable player. Questioned why the media was not giving Brown more recognition for the season he was having.
I don't understand why his name is not getting talked about some as well. Like, nobody gave them a shot to start the season. And he's having, third?
When asked directly if he thought Brown could win MVP, LeBron gave a response that was pure LeBron. The kind of answer that says everything by saying almost nothing. A response that made it clear he had his own complicated history with that award.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest sometimes.
LeBron was not about to campaign for anybody. Because in his mind, the whole process lost its credibility a long time ago. A statement that said everything without saying anything at all.
You feel like he could be MVP?
Last question.
That's not for me. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the criteria MVP anymore.
The clip exploded overnight. Within hours, it had 4.67 million views, 36,000 likes, thousands of reposts and bookmarks. The basketball internet was in a frenzy. On one side, the LeBron defenders praised him for standing up for his son. Users argued you cannot expect any father to ignore someone speaking negatively about his child. Accounts echoed the sentiment that the king keeps receipts. On the other side, fans sided with Brown. They questioned whether doubting Bronny's readiness even qualified as disrespect. Pointed out that Brown was correct given Bronny had spent most of his time in the G League. Some argued if LeBron was going to be insecure about honest criticism, he should not have pushed for his son to be drafted.
I kind of stopped giving a damn about it a long time.
The debate raged because both sides had legitimate points. Brown's original comment was factually defensible. By February 2026, Bronny had appeared in just 29 Lakers games, averaging around 2.3 points in limited minutes. His G League numbers were more encouraging. 15 5 points, 3.8 rebounds, 4.8 assists across his appearances with South Bay. A recent 17.7 rebound performance showed flashes, but the reality remained that Bronny was still a developmental project, and Brown's assessment from 2024 had largely proven accurate.
So actually, Bronny might play better once the season starts because he'll be going against the same person every day.
It's history. They all do.
The LeBron Brown exchange ripped the lid off a debate that had been simmering for years. Nepotism. Who deserves to be in the league and why? Whether being the son of the greatest player of your generation is a blessing or a curse. Gil's Arena had already laid the groundwork for this conversation back in 2024. They made a point that resonated with a lot of people. The pressure placed on Bronny was fundamentally unfair. Nobody puts that kind of scrutiny on a second-round pick.
Trae Young, do y'all know Trae Young's shooting percentage? 4 for 26 from the three-point line. Jaylen Brown.
And then they dropped a statistic that silenced the debate for a moment. Jaylen Brown himself, the same man who said he did not think Bronny was a professional, had a summer league debut that looked remarkably similar. Brown shot poorly in his first summer league games too. The critical difference was this. When Brown struggled as a top 3 pick, nobody questioned whether he belonged. Nobody called him a fraud. Nobody said he should be sent down.
He was the 3rd pick in the NBA draft. The 3rd pick in the NBA draft. The first 3 games, just like Bronny was 6 for 26.
The grace extended to Jaylen Brown as a struggling summer league rookie was not extended to Bronny James. And the reason was obvious. The last name. The comparisons to his father were impossible to escape. They created an expectation no second-round pick in history has ever had to carry. The nepotism argument cuts both ways. On one hand, Bronny not be on an NBA roster if his name was different. His college production did not scream ready. His draft position reflected that. On the other hand, this kid survived cardiac arrest, came back to play Division I ball, and has shown legitimate flashes in the G League.